Hello everybody, and today we are talking about 3 penny stocks that could make you rich in 2021. All 3 of these stocks have one thing in common, and we're going to talk about that in this video. So we're going to talk all about what I believe these penny stocks, the potential they have and where they could go here in the next few months even. And what we're going to talk about is a man by the name of George Sharp. And in order to understand George Sharp, we have to go back to November of 2021 when a merger known as Tesoro Enterprises completed a merger with Humble Pay. It was an empty shell, and that's exactly what these companies are empty shells. And so they have no business operations going on. Just like if you think about a hermit crab, they're looking for a shell. Think of the hermit crab as the company, and these are the shells right here. So the hermit crab has to go find a shell. That's exactly what this is. So going back to that merger, though, with George Sharp as the custodian, he's also the custodian for these companies right here, or these shell companies that, once again, have no business operations until a company is officially merged in. What happened with that company, though, when that merger went down with TS&P and Humble? That merger exploded. So basically what happened is the share price of TS&P went up over 1,000,000% in less than 6 months. And so the price was actually under 1 cent per share. You had a chance, even up until the day the merger was announced, to buy under 1 cent per share. So if you invested, let's say $4,000 right before the merger was announced, you could have turned that $4,000 into over 1 million at the peak. And it only took, less than 4 months for that to happen from the day the merger was announced to run over $1 per share. It was the biggest penny stock runner I've ever seen in my entire life. Let me know if you guys have any others in the comments down below that I'm not thinking of that ran more than that. But I've never seen a penny stock move that much and create such life-changing returns. A lot of people became millionaires from that merger. And so George Sharp has a track record of basically taking over empty shell companies, and then he merges a valuable asset or an entity or some type of company into these shells. And that's what brings these shells value. And that's why you can make so much money from these empty shell companies. Because let's say, he brings in a company into this one, for example, golf, which I have a big position in. If he does that and it brings value to the golf shell, then the share price should do well because it will reflect the new value of that company merging into the shell. Now, he also did another merger recently. It was back in late 2020, early 2021. FORW, he took over that company. That ran over 10,000%. And so what we're talking about here is basically the same thing potentially happening with these 3 penny stocks. Now, the one I like the most on this list is GOFF, GOFF. It's sitting at a $46 million market cap right now, which is the total value of the shares within the entire shell. So when you look at Good Vibrations, GVSI, this is probably the one that's mostly talked about on like Investors Hub and StockTwits, all these different websites, and all 3 of these have potential. But look at the market cap for GVSI. It's a bit higher than GOFF is at 86 million. And then you go down to Stratos Renewables, SRNW. That's another one that George recently just took over. This one is trading at $126 million market cap. And that's assuming that the outstanding shares are accurate. There's been some questions. We've been talking about this on the Discord chat, whether or not that is entirely accurate in terms of the share structure, because it trades very, very thin. But these are the stocks that George has custodianship of right now. And so when we look at this, what we're thinking to ourselves is, what type of company could George merge into either one of these shells? What could happen? So if he merges in another blockchain company, for example, he's been tweeting a lot about Ethereum and how Ethereum is the future. Well, what if he decides to take one of these shells and merge in some Ethereum company, or turn one of these shells into an Ethereum trust or something, kind of like, I think there's an Ethereum trust out there that trades at like $30 a share, has like a multi-billion-dollar market cap on the over-the-counter markets. And so, a lot of times these shells, they're worthless for a while. They don't have any business operations, but that's the opportunity, and that's what we're looking at. Now, obviously it's very speculative because we don't know what type of company is going to be merging into these companies. But I would be willing to bet that at least one of these stocks, one of these tickers that he's taken over, will probably be what I call the big kahuna, or what George will do is he'll merge in a very, big merger like TS&P. And it could be all 3 of them, right? Because he actually tweeted, I think it was like April 30th or something, he tweeted that he's trying to fulfill demand for private companies or assets to bring them public into these shells. And basically that's what we're looking at here. So I would say, any one of these could be massive winners right now. But if I had to choose one, and obviously I'm kind of biased on this because I have such, a large position in this one, GOFF, GOFF. But I do believe, this one has the best potential just based upon the fact that the shell has absolutely no debt. I can't really say anything negative about these, but I don't think they're as clean as GOFF is. There's not nearly as many problems as, with GOFF. Like, the shell's completely clean. There's no debt at all. And so that's going to allow George to get filings uploaded right away and basically get the company current, or GOFF current, right away to get it ready for a merger. Now, these two, on the other hand, I think might be a little bit more work. They've been kind of used and abused, and I think there might be some outstanding debts and things of that nature on those shells. So I'm not saying these are bad plays. I do have a position in Good Vibrations, or GVSI. I do not have a position in this one, but I'm thinking about adding a position. So when you look at this, you're kind of thinking about, both the short-term and long-term potential. I'm kind of focused over the next few months to see what types of companies George merges in here. But I mean, obviously, I picked GOFF, and the reason I have, most of my money in this one is because this one has the lowest market cap, first of all, 46 million versus 86 million versus 126 million for this last one, or so we believe. And also, it's the cleanest, and so you're not going to have problems with the shell getting current. It's going to happen quickly. He actually just filed for access to over-the-counter markets to upload filings and financials and all that stuff and get GOFF current. So I would expect the merger to be completed for GOFF first, and when that happens, if it's a really good company, the share price could go to, who knows, $1, $2, $3, $5 per share. It's trading at about 20 cents right now. So I believe these three stocks, if this turns out to be like another FORW or another TSP especially, any of these three stocks could make you rich in 2021, because the man behind these three stocks is known as George Sharp. He has a great track record on merging, massive mergers basically on the over-the-counter markets. So if he keeps this up, we get some solid companies in here, you could definitely become rich from these stocks potentially in 2021. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.